Carl Roberson of Cohesity, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
What's your sense of how organizations in the defense community in particular are doing at taking a proactive approach to the cyber threat landscape rather than strictly reactive as we've seen in the past?
What the organizations, and it's not just DoD, but I see it in the IC and other government agencies as well, when they look at it from a cyber resilience perspective, basically, how strong is their protections? That's the key, essentially. And protecting the data is first and foremost the important thing. And when you have a cyber event, whatever that might be, that can be from an outside adversary or that can be an insider threat. It's how do you respond to that? How quickly can you recover from it? So you need to be able to detect it. You need to be able to respond to it. You need to be able to remediate and then recover from it. So that's really the key thing.
What are the organizations that are learning to do that well doing? Are there common threads among what they're doing?
There's solutions out there that provide for strong cyber resilience, and essentially most of those are where they're strong from a security perspective. They leverage machine learning, they leverage AI, and they're built on a zero trust architecture, which basically, in essence means you trust nothing.
Yeah, that's right. As far as the solutions go, what are the organizations doing at deploying them? Is it strictly a matter of following things like zero trust strategy and so on, or are there other elements that lead to success in your view?
There's other elements, and it takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one solution that provides for everything, but looking for solutions that follow that same framework and integrate and interact with one another is really where the agencies are going, and they have to go.
With the way the threat landscape is splintering, different types of threats from different types of organizations, nation states, state-sponsored, renegade, rogue organizations, and so on, is that having an impact on the way that organizations in government should think about how they respond to these different threats?
I think it absolutely does. If you think back to the Snowden event as well, and it was an insider, scenario. So the threats are not only outside, but inside as well. And in today's landscape, they're so prevalent. The DoD and the IC kind of inherently operate in kind of a closed environment, right? So there are some protections that they have, but they're not immune to it. They are targets for sure.
How do you see not just the threat landscape, but the way organizations respond to it evolve over time? What do you see over the horizon for these organizations? Maybe they're not thinking about today, but should be because something might be on their radar screens 2 years out or 5 years out.
I think they are starting to recognize the importance of this more and more. At the show, there's a lot of discussions around this. There's a discussion about artificial intelligence and how does that play into this. And I just think it's an evolution. And it's a problem that's growing, but it's been around for a long time.
I want to go back to the beginning of this conversation to wrap things up, Carl. Is there a point where this community will be able to say, we have gotten good at anticipating how the threat landscape will evolve, or does the nature of it mean that that's probably not realistic to consider?
I don't think, personally, this is a personal, I don't think that's we're never going to solve the problem. It's going to be a continuing problem. It's a moving ball. As soon as you think you got it figured out, a new threat emerges, So
it's great to have you on the program, Carl. Thanks for your time today.